For one thing, I'm the only one here with some, believe, with some hardware for my success at playing Kingdomino. So let me throw that out there just to say my opinion matters more than some of these people.
And or is biased.
And all right, round one, we have the great game debate. Easy for me to say. The great game debate, if you don't know, is when we debate a great game. Sometimes we argue if it's a great game or not, but it's usually one that at least people have heard of and have a working knowledge of. And today, that game is Kingdomino Origins, which was suggested by our fine guest host here, Anne from Glam. And it's not a paid promotion, though, from Anne. I'm not sure that's on the teleprompter. But Kingdomino Origins, much like Kingdomino, plays 2 to 4 players in 20 to 40 minutes. Man, it'd be hard to get it under 20 minutes. But you earn points by collecting resources, positioning your little tiles like you would dominoes, where one side has to fit to the same type of terrain, and finding ways to make that score. And Kingdomino Origins rather adds a little more to it than the base Kingdomino, and it's a little bit different than playing the Queendomino, if you're familiar with that one, or even the Kingdomino with the Giants expansion. So we've all played it. We all have something to say about it, and I think we'll start this. Why don't we start it with Anne, and then we'll shoot it around the board from there. So Anne, take it over. What are your thoughts on Kingdomino Origins?
All right. I am so happy to talk about this game. This is a great game that belongs in everyone's collection. You can fit this game to any audience. The big thing about this game is it's a simple concept. It's easy to teach, but there are 3 different game modes. And sometimes that can be a little bit weird for a game. But for these, I find that we have used all 3 versions in my house. There's discovery mode, where you have some volcanoes that shoot fire. You can control where the points are going and how you score because you control the fire. There's totem mode. They have these ridiculously cute wooden pieces. I know good gamers love their components. These are some lovely components. And then there's tribe mode, where you're able to use your resources to pay cavemen to come and perform, then be in different positions on your board, and then you score more points because of that. So this game, if you have somebody who is new to the game entirely, you can play discovery mode. The middle mode, totem mode, is very family friendly. And then the final mode, tribe mode, I've played Queendomino. I've played all of the different versions of Kingdomino. I really enjoy all of them. I liked Queendomino. This is much more intuitive. There are no taxes. There are no taxes in this version. And it just makes sense how I've got these resources, I'm paying for them. Now a caveman has come onto the board and he's scoring appropriately. So it's added a lot of bang for your buck for the game.
Yes, very good. Look at how she stays in her time there. That was amazing.
I know. Perfect.
And after her, we're going to go to the living example of staying within your time. And that's old man Chris, as he discusses the game.
That's right. All right. So I have played Kingdomino, but I've not played Queendomino. So the Kingdomino I enjoy. I've played it with my son. It's a game that a kid can understand, but there's at least enough that it's still interesting for a gamer. So we've played it. We've enjoyed it in our household. But that's all I'd ever played. And then I got a chance to play Kingdomino Origins recently because of Anne. She pointed us in the direction of it. And yeah, it's there's no reason to buy any of the other ones, in my opinion. Like Kingdomino Origins, it has the ability to play the standard Kingdomino, but then it has these additional modules, kind of like she talked about, the different levels, so to speak, that allow you to add little bits of more strategy and intrigue to the game. So I can pull it out and I can play it to where I can play with like a 6-8-year-old easily, or I can actually add the other modules to it, and it becomes an interesting, fulfilling game for people that are looking for a little more depth. One thing I really liked specifically was with the I can't remember the name of the module, but that's there's one of them that when you place the tile, different like resources get put on your tile, and then you can turn those resources in to get the cavemen that she was talking about.
Yeah, tribal mode.
The tribal mode. There you go.
Yep.
And the interesting thing about that is many of them you put them on a tile, and then all of the resources that are around them based on what they're looking for, you get points for. But at the same time, you're turning in the resources to figure out to get them. So it actually takes a decent amount of forward thought to turn them in, but then score the points. So yeah, I loved it. It was fantastic. And again, the fact that you can play it, make it interesting for someone that's an adult hardcore gamer or play with a young kid, all in the same box. Game's fantastic. I loved it.
Cool.
Well, what you got, Andy?
Yeah, Kingdomino is a game I've always enjoyed. I've thought it was a great game from the beginning. I'd played Queendomino once or twice, and I did like the added depth to it. I do remember it being a little bit more take that-ish, I think. And but then playing Origins, yeah, that was great. It was a fun game, and so I hate to make this segment all a love fest, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I will say there's a couple. I'll critique Kingdomino, just the basic engine of the game in a couple ways. One thing I've always thought was kind of strange is that I believe you get more points for having the castle in the middle than you do playing all your dominoes.
Yes.
And I feel like that should be reversed.
Yes.
Just a little personal critique. I feel like it's maybe a few too many points. It's balanced wrong slightly. The other thing I thought would be useful is for some beginner players, especially who are spatially challenged. I always thought like having like a little grid that's 5x5 that came with it would be kind of cool to have along with the board. But maybe that's too much of an aid. I don't know. Overall, great game. I enjoy it. I will say that my one concern is that it may take too long, because I've played with people that just have AP and they take way too long, and that could be a problem. But not my problem. I've never had that.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Daniel, what do you think?
All right. Well, I'm going to tackle that AP thing issue later, but I'm not going to take my time up for that. So
There you go.
I was trying to bait you into it.
Oh, I know it, but it's coming. Don't worry. So Kingdomino has been a game that I have been on the fence about whether I enjoy it or not. For what it is, it's fine. But it's just one, it's not a heavy enough game for me personally. And then when I play it with my son, he's always like meant on it as well. He has asked for it a couple times, but it just doesn't generate the excitement that I like for a weight of game that way. Like when I play a game that way, I want it to be kind of exciting, kind of fun, things you can laugh about, but it's just a little too light for you to really think about it, but not fun enough to like enjoy and like laugh about the experience and kind of enjoy that mutual experience. So it's okay. This one was better because you had those three choices, and now I don't even know why Kingdomino exists or Queendomino exists. They should stop printing them. If you have a copy of those, burn them down. Go buy this one because it's all three of them, but it's all in one box the way it probably should have been to begin with. But I'm sure they didn't have the game in their head beforehand, so that's fair. But my biggest concern about Kingdomino is how you pick which tile you're going to get. So essentially, when you pick the tile, you pick like the highest value or the lowest value, and if you pick a low value one, you get to pick first next time. But if you pick a high value one, you get to pick last next time. But you kind of get into this endless cycle sometimes of constantly having to pick last or pick first and not getting the tiles you actually want. So I feel like there's kind of an imbalance there. And when you get hit into that cycle, it can be a pretty frustrating moment. So overall, Kingdomino is fine, but I'm going to be the outlier here and say, if you have kids, maybe it's good. If you don't have, or if you have somebody who likes light games, maybe, but other than that, it's a pass for me. So,
wow. Well, Daniel's not going to throw it to me, so I'll just take over.
Oh, sorry.
So, for one thing, I'm the only one here with some, I believe, with some hardware for my success at playing Kingdomino. So, let me throw that out there just to say my opinion matters more than some of these people.
And yours biased.
And I also like to say that when Ann suggested we would do this in the Great Game Debate, that we would discuss this game, I was not excited about it because Kingdomino or Queendomino, I've actually played it before I played Kingdomino. And I liked it. And then I bought and played Kingdomino, went back, played Queendomino again. It wasn't as good as I remembered it being. I'm like, it's really, you can't really do much as you want to in the extra stuff because you still have to be so focused on building your grid that you can pretty much ignore the extras in Queendomino and still win. So I wasn't crazy about it. I wasn't crazy about looking at a new game at it. And Kingdomino Origins does it the right way. And they do everything right except for one, which I'll get to. But I really do like that there's different levels you can play. You can play it a little different. The totem mode and the tribal mode are both better than the base. We never even played the base because you played Kingdomino, you played the base. So we played the other two, and they're both enjoyable. And I love there's the decisions you have to make. What am I going to do with my flames? Because they're going to burn up the resources before I can use them if I don't use them now. And so he's like, I want to score those later with this guy. I love how you get cavemen, you can like make your own section of cavemen that'll score, so that's pretty cool too. The only thing I don't like about it, two things actually. One, like Andy said, I've never understood the scoring for how it's so much easier to just keep your cave in this or your hut in the center than it is to use all your dominoes, yet it scores twice as much. The other thing is, I think they missed a great opportunity here. Instead of making it Kingdomino Origins, to make it something like Kingdomino in the future related. I think that would have been much more exciting. I love the little castles that you get in the original Kingdominos. These little huts just look like a cardboard X in the middle of your board. They don't really look like anything. And so I think they missed a great retheming, hey, let's just completely shoot it out there and make it something good. As far as the gameplay, though, it plays great. So I really have no complaint with that. There we go. There's the right music. There's the right sound when my time is up. A little Barry Manilow there instead or something. I didn't know what that was, but okay. But that's what I got. Anybody have anything to respond to what we said? I'm
just digging the hat, John. It just
is that what it is?
Yeah. You guys are all bringing the hat game today.
Yes.
Got it covered. Well, that was nice. See, I feel like a lot of people missed Kingdomino Origins because they think they got it between Kingdomino and Queendomino. So this is really interesting to get to like test this out on a lot of people who play a lot of games and get.
Well, and that's a problem in general, I feel like, in the board game industry, because you have a good game that's successful, and then you have a follow-up, and then you have several follow-ups, and the third iteration may be the best, but people by that point are just like, I don't want Munchkin Animal House or whatever.
That's a good idea, actually.
And honestly, that happens a lot also in the video game in the community. Like the first one comes out and it's like, it's great, and everyone loves it, and then they make a second or third, and by the third, it's actually like perfected, but everyone has like they're just so tired of it by then. So yeah, maybe that's what happened here. But yeah, no, I think it's great.
Yeah, I want to say I love that Anne said that good gamers love nice components, because we all know Chris is not a good gamer. I'm glad we're defined that it's out there now. So thank you, Anne, for that clarification.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it seems like every game now has like geeked out bits. Is there like a fancy version of Kingdomino, like made of like marble or something?
Ooh,
that would be
Etsy. Go on Etsy.
Go on Etsy.
There is on there.
Yeah.
That would be a good.
Andy had something, or Daniel had something he wanted to say about AP.
Yes. Okay. Before we close out this segment, we have talked about Andy time before. We have definitive proof. So I invited everybody over to my house to play Kingdomino's Origin, and John was over first, and my son wanted to play. So we're like, hey, let's get a game in with my son.
Mm-hmm.
He's 9 years old.
Yeah.
We finished that game in 27 minutes. And Brendan's a gamer. He likes to games, but he's sometimes hard to focus, and he likes to run around. He likes to battle the meeples.
Mm-hmm.
Games with him takes a little bit longer. So instead of 20 minutes, it took 27 minutes. Brendan time. Add 7 minutes. Sure. Andy comes over. We're like, hey, Andy, come on over. Let's play. Brendan leaves. So we're still playing with 3 people, guys. 3 people. 57 minutes it took us to play that game. 57 minutes with 3 adults and 27 minutes with a child.
Yeah.
Andy, this is an intervention. If you have AP and a kids game, then just stop.
You in the words of the wise Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. You play to win the game. And so I do whatever it takes.
I think he did win. Unfortunately,
he did win the game by a considerable margin, I believe, too. So yeah, he does have that.
All right, well,
all right, cool.
Might have been more for him, but not for us.
Yes, it wasn't. Made it way more pleasant for Andy, way less pleasant for us. But to wrap that up, if you guys out there watching, listening, have any comments you have about Kingdomino Origins or any reactions to it, please leave it in the comments down below, and maybe we'll even talk about it again in a future episode and mention you. But also, if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons to keep seeing amazing content like this.
If you enjoyed what you just watched, click on the embedded video for the rest of the episode.